Now children, so let us discuss the third type of animals, that is omnivores. And the third type of animals, children, the third type of animals are omnivores. So omnivores means the animals which eat both plants and animals are called omnivores. So these animals can eat both plants and animals. So those animals which eat both plants and animals are called omnivores. The examples for the omnivores are, so dogs, cats, rats, squirrels, and cockroach, and human beings. So human beings are also an example for omnivores, because so humans can also eat both plants and also flesh of other animals. So that's why human beings are also example for omnivores. So children, so these are some examples for omnivores. So omnivores are those which can eat both plants and animals. Some examples are dogs, cats, rats, squirrels, cockroach, and human beings, etc. So children, so this is about omnivores, and they have different type of teeth in their mouth. So with the help of their tooth, they can easily chew their food and cut their food, and also they are helpful in grinding their food. So those teeth helpful to them in cutting and in grinding and chewing their food. So this is about omnivores. And the fourth type of animals. So let us discuss the fourth type of animals, that is insectivores. And the fourth type of animals are insectivores. Insectivores means insect eaters. So the animals which eat insects, the animals which eat insects are called insectivores. So the examples for the insectivores are, so the examples for the insectivores are, so frogs, spiders, bats. So frogs, spiders, bats, lizards, so etc. So children, so these are the some examples for insectivores. So these insectivores only eat insects. Example, frogs, spiders, bats, and lizards. So insectivores, especially frogs. So in the frogs, they have a tongue. Their tongue is very sticky. So if they want to catch the prey, they move out their tongue with a jerk towards the prey. And the prey stuck to its tongue, and the frog immediately pulls its tongue into its mouth and swallow the prey. So children, so this is a special type of arrangement in the frogs. So generally, so the frogs have a sticky tongue. That means the tongues have a sticky nature, and if it want to catch the prey, so it moves out its tongue towards the prey, and if the prey stick to its tongue, it quickly pulls its tongue into the mouth and swallow the prey. And in the same way, spiders. So the spiders will trap its insects in its web. So all spiders will trap the insects in their webs, and bats also eat insects. In the same way, lizards also eat insects. So this is about frogs. So especially frogs. See the children, the picture, and there is a small video how the frogs eat the prey. So this is about insectivorous birds, and there are some birds which eat only liquids. So there are some birds which eat only liquids. So for example, so the example which eat only liquids, that means which feed on only liquids, are butterflies and hummingbird, so etc. So children, so these are the examples for the birds which feed on only liquids. So for example, if we take a butterfly, so the butterfly has a long feeding tube called proboscis. So if it falls or if it lands on a flower, so it will suck the nectar of the flower with the help of its feeder tube. That means its feeding tube. So if the sucking of nectar is completed, so the feeding tube will be coiled up under its head in the form of a coil. So this is the arrangement in the butterfly to suck the nectar from the flowers. So generally the proboscis, that is called feeding tube. So the feeding tube in butterflies is called proboscis. So this feeding tube in butterflies is generally coiled under its head in the form of a coil. So look at the picture, you are observing proboscis of a butterfly, so which is coiled in the form of a spring. So when it lands on a flower, so then it straightens its feeding tube and it will suck the nectar from the flower. So in the same way, hummingbird. So look at the picture. So you are observing a hummingbird. So it has a long beak. So with the help of its long beak, the hummingbird can suck the nectar from the flowers. So in this way, so different types of birds have different types of arrangements to suck the liquids from the flowers. So in the same way, so the birds and animals, in the same way, there are some plants which eat insects only. So those plants are called insectivorous plants. So there are also insectivorous plants. So that means, so some plants can eat only insects. So those plants are called insectivorous plants. So the examples for the insectivorous plants are, so pitcher plant, and the second one is Venus flytrap. So Venus flytrap. So look at the picture, you are observing the pictures of a pitcher plant, Venus flytrap, and also sundew plant. So children, so in these plants, the leaves are modified into some different structures. So with the help of those structures, they can easily catch their prey insects. So in pitcher tree, the leaves are modified into blades. So with the help of that blades, it can easily catch the prey. So in the same way, Venus flytrap. So in the sundew, it has a sticky hair-like structures. So with the help of that sticky hair-like structures, it can easily catch the insects. So children, so these are about insectivorous animals and that means insectivorous plants, and some birds which eat only liquids, example butterfly, hummingbird. So these are the 4 types of animals, that is carnivores, herbivores, and omnivores, and 4th one is insectivores.